In this lesson, we'll look at drawing with arcs. As with everything in Rhino, there are several ways to access a command. So to access the arc command, we'll go up to Curve, and under Arc, we'll select Center, Start, Angle. It's asking for the center of the arc, so we'll go ahead and type 0 to put that at our world center. Now it's asking for the start of the arc. We can just go ahead and either drag that visually, or we can type a length. I'm going to type 30 and hit Enter. So now we're constrained to 30 units. I'll just hold down the Shift key to constrain that into a straight line. Click once. As you can see, as I drag my cursor, it's showing us how large the arc is going to be. And I can just drag this until the arc is a length I like, or I can type a number. In this case, I'll go ahead and type 60 for 60 degrees. As you can see, it's drawn a 60-degree arc. If I go up to my drafting menu and select radius, and then click on the arc, you can see we have a radius of 30 because the arc starts 30 units from the center point. Select those and delete them. We'll draw another arc. This time I'll go back to the standard toolbars, and we'll access the arc command through the toolbar. So if I hold this down, I'll bring this out and float this. And this is the standard arc icon. So I'll click on that. This time I'll type 10, 10 for a start point. So I'm starting my arc there. I'll hold down my Shift key and I'll drag down. So you can see I drag my cursor around to place the endpoint. So I can click here or type in an angle. I'll go ahead and type 315. So now it's drawn an arc with an angle of 315 degrees. Let's select that and delete it. We're just going to draw a couple of straight lines. So I'm just going to grab my polyline tool. I'll click once to place the start point, and I'll just hold down the Shift key and drag out about this far. Click once, and then hit Enter to finish that command. I'm going to make a copy of this line, so I'll select the line, drag it down, and then just tap the Alt key. Remember, this is new in Rhino 5, so just tap the Alt key, you'll see the plus sign, and then let go to when you get about there. Now I have two parallel straight lines. I'll click on this icon, and this is the start-end arc. So the start of the arc is going to be this point, and the end of the arc is going to be this point. I can drag the arc in any direction. The next arc gives a little bit more control. I'll click this one. Again, it's asking for the start of the arc, and then the end of the arc. This time I can hold down my Shift key to constrain the arc either in this direction or this direction. You notice if I go up or down, no arc is drawn. If I drag out to the left, I'm now drawing an arc that is tangent to these two lines here. And let me select those and delete what we just drew. I'm going to switch on my layer called Arcs. Let me zoom out just a little bit. As you can see, I have two lines drawn here. So I'm going to use the Arc Tangent to Curves command, and it's asking me for my first tangent curve. You can see I move my cursor around here and the Smart Track lines show up. Click once, and even though I've clicked, notice that I can still move the cursor around. And then I'll bring the cursor down and touch this curve here. And I can just click. And even though I've clicked, I can still move the cursor around here as well. Note that if I come out here, the line does change because I'm outside what can be drawn with a tangency. So the arc does start to draw without any tangency to the existing line. It just intersects the line. But if I move back inside here, you'll see the Smart Track showing up. And those tell me that I have tangency with these two lines. I'll just click, and then I can either drag the arc in this direction or have an arc going in this direction, depending which way I want the tangency to be. I'll just drag it out here. And the last arc command we'll look at is this one here, which is arc through points. So I click on this, and you can see the command line is asking me to select points to build a curve through. So I can just click on these points and hit Enter. And it's going to build an arc that goes through all of those points. I could also turn on the control points for a curve and use that same command and then select these points. As you can see, it's drawn an arc that fits right through those 3 control points. And that concludes our look at the arc command.